This, my friends, is the playbook.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the playbook. It is time for some football, baby. Oh my God, it has been a long 8 months. It has been a long 7, 8 months.
Too long.
Slice it up, but week 1 starts in right now. If you're watching this, who knows? You could be watching the game, listening to us tell you what to pick because, well, you should listen to what I say because I won the picks last year. Whatever. No biggie. But I plan on repeating. How you guys doing? Sage, your team plays in 48 hours. Where's your head at? How you feeling? Before we get into today's video, guys, I just want to give a special shout out to today's sponsors, starting with Gold Fine and Bowles, lawyers for the injured. Personal injury, workers' compensation, those are their two things, but any sort of legal advice, they're the people to call. Give them a phone call, 309-673-5144. Tell them we sent you, okay? And I'd also like to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video as well. Use promo code PLAYBOOKSPORTS on their website to get $20 off your first purchase of $30 or more. Let's get back to the video.
My head, dude, I've been thinking too hard about this game recently. Like, it's all that's on my head. There's nothing else between these ears, right? I'm dialed in.
There's just a Raven
If
in
they
there
need me to get on the field, I'll play. I'll play.
I would seriously. We need to get back. We need to get that show like Pros versus Joes going again. Get us in there like against a D lineman. Like, hey, we got to be left tackle against Myles Garrett and just see what happens for a rep or two.
That would be disgustingly bad.
God, we'd have to sign so many waivers.
Oh yeah, so many waivers. Cease, Opal, how you boys doing?
Very excited for this week of football. Just can't believe it's here. I mean, obviously, we've been getting closer for months now, but it does not feel like it. And like you said, 48 hours away, there is football that matters. And I am so jazzed up.
Yeah, I cannot wait. Cease, big CD Lamb deal finally signed. We haven't talked about it on here since. Thank God. That's all I have to say. Thank God.
About damn time. Football's back. And for a Cowboy fan, the regular season is the best time to be a Cowboy fan. So here we go.
Brother.
Let's roll.
Amen. Let's go. We're going to really enjoy the next 4.5 months. And then January hits and I'm out.
Yep.
See.
New year, new me. We are out.
New year, new me. Amen. All right. Let's quit stalling. Let's get right into these game picks. You know, normally this is the meat and potatoes of the show. This is the appetizer. We're starting it off with this. And we ordered a 5-star appetizer, folks. We got a good slate this week. There are some great games. And it kicks off Thursday night with a AFC Championship rematch with the Baltimore Ravens, this time going to Kansas City to take on the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. Currently the line's Chiefs -3. It's a pick 'em, baby. It's going to be close. Sage, we're going to save you for last because it's your team. Bobby is on Baltimore +3 points in this one. I'm going the other way. I'm sorry. I'm going to take the Chiefs -3 points. I just think the Chiefs, something about the Chiefs this year has me like, this could be a historically good football team. Honest to God. I really think they could be insane. You look at the team, yeah, they lost with Jarius Sneed, but I still trust Steve Spagnuolo and that defense to absolutely be humming again. Just another year in it, just another year better. And then you add some weapons. Obviously, Rashee Rice is playing this year. You've got Xavier Worthy. You got Travis Kelce still. You got another year of Isaiah Pacheco. The offensive line is still, like, the continuity of the Chiefs is disturbing. There's nothing big changed. At home, and I think that the Chiefs, like last year, the Lions lost. You know, the Lions went into Kansas City and beat them week 1. And I think a lot of people are kind of like, oh, the Chiefs lost week 1 last year against a good team. They're going to do it again. I think the Chiefs are going to come out and win this close one. I'm even willing to say like a score. Like I got them winning 28-24 Kansas City and hopefully a great return to football. It's going to be a really good football game. Addison, thoughts?
I am on the opposite of you, Nate. I'm going to be going Baltimore plus the points here. And I am going to sort of use that excuse of early season Chiefs don't care. I don't want to say they don't care, but it's not the end of the world if they start 3-3, 3-4, because they're going to figure it out and get hot late and get to the playoffs, and that's all that matters. And Baltimore's looking at this game big revenge. Nate, you said an AFC Championship game rematch. I'm sure Zay Flowers has had this game circled since the moment he knew that they were playing the Chiefs week 1, expecting a big game out of him. And Lamar, 1-3 record against Mahomes in the career. So let's hopefully get it to 2-3. And I'll take the points in a game that's going to be close. +3. The Ravens are going to be nasty. It's going to be a good game. I could easily see the Chiefs winning, but somehow, some way, Ravens are going to cover that 3. So give me them all day.
Okay, I like it. Colin.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, early season Chiefs. I mean, how many are we going to lose back-to-back ring ceremony season openers? I don't really see it. Talking about last year, but you really don't want to look too much into last year. Yes, the Lions did win a 1-point game on a Kadarius Toney tipped pick 6. I don't really envision. I mean, any break could happen. But I think the Chiefs come out. This game just screams push at -3.
Yeah,
So I do think it is a close game at the end of the day, and I could see Kansas City just getting enough done to get the W at the end of the day. So I'll go with the Chiefs -3, but I really think this is a 3-point game at the end of the day. So, but give me the Chiefs.
Okay, I like it. That means it's a split going to Sage. Man, I wonder which way he's going with this one. Sage, what you got?
Yeah, it's not staying that way. We're,
Yeah.
we're going with the Ravens right here.
Of course. Yep, good.
We're going
Good.
with the Ravens right here, +3. Honestly, give me money.
Ooh, okay. Respect.
Just because I'm feeling so good about this game. I mean, obviously, the last time we played football was against the Chiefs, and we got sent home, and our worst point turnout this whole season. And a lot of that comes from us forgetting what our identity was. The entire season, we were number 1 in rushing the entire year, and then we decided to run the ball 8 times against the Chiefs in a 1-possession game. So I don't know what happened there, but if you think that we added Derrick Henry to do that again, you're wrong. You know, so we got Derrick Henry. We have a little bit of shuffle around the offensive line, which gives me a little concern going up against Chris Jones, and they have a pretty beefy defensive line. But hopefully their secondary gives us some room to work, and I think Lamar's out for blood. I'm excited for this game. I think the Chiefs have a lot more unknown. Like, could be upgrade, but it's just unknown. And I know what the Ravens are right now, and that's why I'm going with the Ravens.
Okay, I respect that. I really do think this. Like, I love Baltimore +3. I also just trust the Chiefs. Like, I just find myself not wanting to ever pick against the Chiefs anymore because every time I do it, they make me look stupid. But this is what a game. I mean, probably the best week 1 game. And they're giving it to us to start the year. It's like, oh, God bless you guys. Thank you, NFL schedule makers.
I will say, like I was telling you the other day, Nate, this is the worst time for the Ravens to play them.
Yeah, because no matter what, you don't really win.
We lose either way. I mean, if we win, they're going to say, oh, well, they can't do it in the postseason.
Early season
If we
Chiefs, who
lose,
cares?
then it's going to be like, oh, they still can't beat the Chiefs.
Yep.
So the only way we win is if it's like 45-18 blowout.
Yeah, just
like the Niners game
No
last
one
year.
blows out the Chiefs.
yeah, like the Niners game last year. Just an ass
If we could do that, that would be ideal. But it's going to be a hard fought game.
Agreed. Friday night, first ever game in Brazil between two green teams that cannot wear green in this game, which is kind of wild. So the jersey matchup will be what, black versus white, I'm assuming, is Green Bay Packers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. Right now, the line is Philly -2.5. Colin, what are your thoughts on this game?
Gone back and forth, obviously, in our season preview video, going over records and division predictions and everything. I think the Eagles are going to be very good, and I think the Packers, based off my bold prediction, might miss the playoffs this season. That's my bold prediction. In this game, however, I do like Philadelphia to get it going. It does scare me week 1, so many new pieces, both schematically, offensively, and defensively, versus the Packers are pretty much routine, bringing everybody back for the most part. Getting Rashawn Gary back as well is huge for that defensive line. Interested to see how the Eagles look offensively and on that offensive line without Kelsey, obviously, this season. And can they pick up that slack in the back end of the secondary? We'll see. I'm going to take Philly here minus the 2.5. I just like 2.5. Give me that 3-point field goal, baby.
Yeah, I get that. I'm with you. I'm completely with you. I'm really big on Philly this year. I'm also big on Green Bay. I'm very high on Green Bay. It's just a weird... I don't know. And I feel like both of these teams are going to play this one a little more cautious than they should. And if in a cautious football game, I like the Eagles and their offensive line and their run game. Saquon Barkley behind that offensive line, I trust it more than I trust Josh Jacobs in his first game as a Packer behind the Packers offensive line. I think the Eagles are just a more physical team. Put this game in a neutral stadium, I'm probably taking Green Bay. But in a new setting where you're going to lean on the run in week 1. Give me the better defense and just, I think, the better roster. Give me the Eagles by 3 again. I like a late field goal by Elliott, truthfully. Sage, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm also gonna roll with the Philadelphia Eagles right here. And it's definitely because of that run game. I think their line is just superior to Green Bay's defensive line. And then the addition with Saquon Barkley, Kellen Moore calling the plays. I mean, Kellen Moore last year, if you forget about the rest of the time that he was with the Chargers, week 1, they rushed for over 200 yards. The only time they did that was week 1. So I'm calling that to happen yet again with Saquon, Jalen Hurts.
Okay, I like it. Addison, are we clean sweeping?
Shit.
Are we doing it?
Yeah, we got a clean sweep. I will say, I think this is neutral site though, just because Brazil. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Yeah, between
It is
these
neutral
guys.
field.
But you're still riding with the Eagles because I think they're gonna win. And I do love the additions on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously with Saquon and then Kellen Moore calling the plays. Obviously, there's the news. Vic Fangio, is he gelling with the defense? Well, if you start 1-0, things get a lot better. And the Green Bay Packers offense is good, but there's no superstar weapons to test the secondary. Obviously, they have good weapons at receiver, but no great. So I think it's a good first game for Philly, and then the secondary revamp to see what they got and what Vic's going to call up. I'm just excited to see how Kellen Moore has these Eagles going. I think the offense is going to be there. So give me the Eagles minus the 2.5. I think they cover it pretty easy.
Okay, I like it. Clean
I
sweep.
will say I am excited to see how the Packers run game works in this.
Yeah, with Jacobs.
Against Philly's defensive line, just because with the addition of Josh Jacobs and whoever their backup is, because apparently their whole running back room is hurt.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's not Dylan, and the Marshawn Lloyd guy is hurt. He's questionable. So
yeah. And apparently Josh Jacobs turned down contracts from the Chiefs and the Giants.
Mm-hmm. Don't blame him on the Giants one. Chiefs one, I mean, rival, it's hard.
Yeah, he said, I want to beat him. I don't want to join him.
Yeah, he did not want to beat Kevin Durant.
I'll say, talking about the Packers run game as well, we talked about Kelsey obviously on the offensive line for the Eagles, but Fletcher Cox retiring as well for that defensive line. Like, is Jalen Carter ready? Can he do what he did last year and kind of even more than he did last year to pick up that slack? That'll be something to watch for as well.
You know who really needs to step up is Jordan Davis, their first-round pick 2 years ago on the defensive line. Like, Jalen Carter's got the juice, but he needs a running mate. Can Jordan Davis be the first-round pick they draft him to be? I think he's kind of one of the X factors in that football game.
I haven't heard of Nolan Smith in so long.
No.
He seems to be nothing now.
I don't think they know what to do with him. I think they're playing him as he's an off-ball linebacker that they're playing as a pass rusher, and he didn't do that at Georgia. So I don't know what they're doing with him.
I feel like a lot of those Georgia guys just haven't really produced since they got drafted. Most of them, actually.
Quite a few of them on the defensive side, especially. Yeah. So, all right. Clean sweep on Philly makes me nervous. We'll see how our clean sweep luck is going to be this season.
That makes me very happy. That makes me very happy.
Go hammer Green Bay money line, baby. Everybody, go hit it. Let's jump into the first NFL Sunday of the year. God, I cannot wait for 12 o'clock Central on Sunday, man. I am going to be just so excited. This first game, though, does not excite. Well, no, it could be good. It's Pittsburgh at Atlanta. Currently, the line is Atlanta minus 3.5. It was at 3. It has moved a half a point in Atlanta's favor. Bobby's sticking with Atlanta, and obviously Bobby was on Philly because we clean swept them. So, Addison, I'm going to start with you. What are your thoughts on this Pittsburgh Falcons game?
Well, I'm just thinking about last year, week 1, and how we all, I'm pretty sure, clean swept Pittsburgh to upset the 49ers, and they got absolutely trounced. And I'm thinking, is this going to be the same thing the other way? We're all in Atlanta, the new Kirk Cousins signing. The offense is going to be finally explosive there. They got some defensive pieces, Judon, Simmons on the signing and free agency. They're the exciting team. I'm thinking a lot of people are going to be on Atlanta. Make me one of them. Because I think Pittsburgh's just not going to be able to compete with Atlanta's new offense. And Kirk Cousins is going to move the ball, and Atlanta fans are going to be shocked to see an offense score 35 points. And it's going to be a tough go for Russ early in his Steelers career. You're really running into somebody that could be exploding onto the scene this year in Atlanta early, and that's a tough matchup, and it's at home for the Falcons. Give me the Falcons minus the 3.5, and I'll take that easy.
I like that pick. Colin, thoughts?
Yeah, a lot of expectations for Atlanta this year, rightfully so, looking at that roster, adding a quarterback, which we've been begging the last 2 seasons for them to do.
Begging.
And you look at Kirk Cousins last year before the injury, like he was a legitimate MVP candidate before he got hurt last season. So are the expectations too high? Can they do it? I really want to take Pittsburgh and hold the points. Just give me the money line on Pittsburgh. But I'm not going to do it because that is reckless and stupid. Give me the 3.5, but I am going with Pittsburgh with that 3.5.
Okay.
Just
yeah.
because I think the expectations are a little high. Week 1 is due for a nice letdown.
It is. I agree with you. I agree with you. In early season NFL, it seems like I don't know. I tend to lean with good defenses early on in the season because offenses are still gelling. They're still getting it figured out. Atlanta's got a whole bunch of new weapons and a brand new coaching staff in there. Pittsburgh, what's the same? Mike Tomlin and that defense. That has not changed. That is the exact same as it was last year. Can they score 20 points? Probably not. But can they score 17 and lose 17-20? They sure as hell can, baby. Give me Pittsburgh plus the 3.5. If it was 2.5, I'm going to, this it just screams 20-17, where Atlanta fans are disappointed because their new shiny offense didn't come show out. And Pittsburgh's like, damn, we were so close to pulling off the upset on our route to 8-1 on the year. That's just what I'm seeing. I don't see these all. I think Atlanta might struggle early. Might struggle a little early, but once they get going, they are going. I love Atlanta this year. I think they're going to be very good. But I think Pittsburgh's defense is nasty. They are nasty. Sage, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with Atlanta here, and it's not just because I hate Pittsburgh.
I was gonna say, okay, sure, Ravens fan. Okay.
Not just because I hate Pittsburgh, like you said, like need a second to gel and everything. But aside from George Pickens, they have no real legitimate weapons.
No.
Jalen Warren, I think, is their most explosive player, but he's their RB2. Najee Harris can catch and fall. I think in an Arthur Smith offense, Darnell Washington might get the most targets.
Yeah, he will. We listen to the same podcast. We got to stop. I heard that.
We do got to stop. But no, I see all those things happening, but the thing I'm really worried about for them is their offensive line, and that takes the most time to gel. They're still plugging and picking things and trying to see what works in the third preseason game, when that's when you got to know who's in there and take those suckers out so you know they're healthy. But at this point, it doesn't seem like they know nor care because they're figuring it out still. And I think that's a perfect storm for Atlanta's defensive front, especially with the addition of Matthew Judon to get on track, try to derail that Pittsburgh offense. And I think they're going to get smacked in the mouth. Bijan Robinson's going to have a hell of a game.
Okay, I like it.
That's something too, like looking back at the draft, just talking about that Judon trade, like at number 8, we're like pass rusher. Just get the best pass rusher. You need a pass rusher. They go Penix like you're stupid.
Yep.
Whole time they just were like, we're just going to trade for Matt Judon, who's like a Pro Bowl pass rusher, and get our future quarterback. So they actually kind of played that well for as much shit as we gave them.
But of course, if they didn't do that, they could have had Dallas Turner or Latu and Judon.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Like I do think there's two good sides, that like there's that good side and the Penix side if that pans out. But just gosh, it still gives me headaches. I don't know what they were thinking still.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was the shock of the draft by far.
That was the shock of the draft. We all lost it. That was awesome. I love that clip. All right, moving on. This one is a weird one, and I'm interested to get some takes on this one. Arizona Cardinals traveling to Buffalo to take on the Bills. Currently, the line is Bills minus 6.5. Bobby is on Arizona, the road team. Sage, you seem energetic. What you got?
I am so excited about this game. I think the Cardinals are going to take it to them. I think 6.5 kind of seems criminal for this, just because Buffalo has lost so many defensive pieces. And Kyler Murray, his numbers were insane last year when he finally came back. And then you add MHJ. I'm taking the Cardinals here. I'm really excited to see what happens. I think Buffalo, if they can get the running game and keep it short, or keep the game small, I think that's their best shot at keeping this game contained. But I think it can get away from them in a hurry if they don't figure out that running game.
Yeah. I really want to take Arizona, right? I feel like that's the fun pick here because Buffalo's weapons, trash, right? Absolutely. We have no idea. Arizona's defense, not the best, but Arizona's offense should be able to go pretty well. Buffalo, it's like, how are they getting 6.5 points? But at the same time, it's Buffalo, man. It's Buffalo in Buffalo, and it's still Josh Allen. That's where I'm at. It's still Josh Allen, and he just wins games like this. And -6.5 to win by a touchdown. I'm sort of hedging myself just a little bit early on here because Buffalo wins by a touchdown. I win because I'm taking Buffalo -6.5. Buffalo loses, I win again. It's a win-win here. I'm going to go with the home team in this one. Kind of a weird one. It's interesting, though, that they think Arizona's only 3 points or 3.5 points different than Buffalo. You know, they get the 3 points for a home. So they're saying neutral site, 3.5 point spread. That says a lot about the difference in where these teams were at a year ago. So give me Buffalo to take this one at home, -6.5. And I'm a little nervous about it. We'll see. Addison, thoughts?
Yeah, you should be nervous. I think
Big
Arizona's
Cardinals
going
guy.
to cover the 6.5. They could even win. I think Buffalo's defense is in for a rough awakening. The secondary is Cheeks. DeMar Hamlin starting safety. Good for him, but bad for the defense of the Buffalo Bills. And also, they just finalized who's calling plays on the defense side of the ball. Bobby Babich, or I believe that's how you pronounce it. Could be wrong. Sorry if I butchered your name, my man. But he's a defensive coordinator. And he's calling plays on the defensive side of the ball to start the year. It was a question Sean McDermott finally decided. I think this is just setting up a scapegoat. Nate, I think your predictions of Sean McDermott getting chopped, I think it's going to get hotter and hotter the longer this year goes on. But speaking about week one, Sage, you sort of touched on it. The weapons on Arizona's offense. I'm extremely excited to see how they work with Kyler Murray. I'm expecting big production from Arizona's offense. Their defense also sucks. So this could be a high-scoring affair. And if that's the case, give me the team +6.5. And again, like I said, I can see Arizona sneaking out a crazy sneak W in week one. But give me the Cardinals to cover against the Buffalo Bills.
Right. I think it's tied for the second highest over-under on the week.
Yeah, it should be.
third
Both
highest.
these defenses are not anything to write home about. And these offenses, at least Arizona has the weapons and the Bills have Josh Allen. They're going to move the football.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Colin.
offense galore.
Yeah, agreed. Colin, thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I was going to say over in this, probably is my favorite play of the week across the slate, talking about the two defenses in this game. Cheeks, as Addison mentioned. Talking about, Nate, you mentioned it. What does this look like? How far have these two teams came and regressed both from last year? Because you look last year, week one, this is probably like what, -12?
At least.
-12.5.
Oh, yeah.
And so crazy, you know, Buffalo coming back down to earth a little bit and Arizona coming back up. I really like the 6.5 here for Arizona. I do think they keep it close enough to stay within a touchdown. And then ultimately, I do think Buffalo sneaks it out, but I'll take Arizona with the points. This is one the schedule makers knew what they were doing, sending an Arizona team to Buffalo in September versus doing it in December. Because if they did that in December, that'd be brutal.
Yeah.
Agreed. I do another thing that makes me lean Buffalo is how every single year at the end of September, who's number one in every power rankings? Every single year, the Buffalo Bills. Every year at the end of September. They just come out hot, but I do think that their talent level has significantly decreased this offseason. So that's going to be a fun one to watch. It'll be a good one. Next noon game we got here, the Tennessee Titans traveling to Chicago to take on those Bears, baby. Addison, you're going last. Bobby is on Chicago in this one. Colin, where are you going with this one?
It's another game where it's like, are the expectations for this season just through the roof? And is there going to be a slight letdown in week one? But I don't think so. I think the hype is real based off what really sells me is how the Bears defensively looked at the end of last season. We talked about it in the preview for this season. I do think the Bears, even if their offense is average in week one, I think they cover this 4.5. So I'm going to take the Bears.
Okay. Sage, thoughts?
I mean, the last 15 number one picks have gone 0, 14, and 1 in their season opener.
Dang.
With that one being Kyler Murray with the tie.
Wow.
I think that trend is getting bucked right here. Give me Caleb Williams. Give me the Bears. It's happening. I'm a believer. I'm so excited. I saw 3rd and 12 to DJ Moore, and that's all I needed.
3rd and 12.
It's the best
Oh my
play I've ever
God.
seen. And maybe the best play I've ever seen, honestly.
God dang it. All right.
Devin
well,
has
this
your
is
Super Bowl. No. Give
No.
me 3rd and 12.
3rd and 12 in the preseason. I'm in.
But I will say I am excited for the Tennessee Titans. I do think that they're going to have a better year than people expect. Just coming up right now against the Bears, I think the Bears have a lot to prove right now, and they're excited. They're going to be way more energetic about this. And I think Tennessee, they got a lot of difference on offense. It's going to take a second for them to gel more.
I'm excited to see the offense with Callahan kind of calling the plays this year and see what kind of steps that they take with Will Levis. I mean, they've got decent weapons and Calvin Ridley. They got a bunch of guys that are kind of also Rans, right? They're aged. They've got an aged team. And the offensive line still has some serious questions on the right side. And this should make all of you guys grin because I was wrong every time I picked a Bears game last year. If I picked the Titans, the other team. If I picked the Bears, the other team won. If I picked against the Bears won. I'm going to take the Titans plus the 4.5 points. I like the points in Chicago. I do think at the end of the day, I know Caleb Williams has all the potential to be a top 5 quarterback in the NFL if he reaches his potential. This is game 1 in the NFL. This is his first live action in a game that means something. And that's tough. And Tennessee's got a number of vets. Tennessee's not exactly a young team. They've got a pretty vet team, and they've got a solid defense. Jeffrey Simmons in the middle is real good. And that's it. They're okay. They've got L'Jarius Sneed at corner who can cover one guy. And Shane Waldron's offense in Seattle last year let me down. That was more Geno Smith than anything, truthfully. I'm just going to take the points here and hope for a 21-17 game or like a 28-24 Bears victory for Addison. I do think the Bears win this game. I want that out there. I think the Bears win this football game. But I think 4.5 is a little rich for my blood right now. Let me see the Bears do it, and then I'll start giving them the minus points. But give me Tennessee in this one. Addison, what you got?
Been itching to talk about this game.
Yes.
Now, obviously, these are the games this year that if the Bears want to be successful and reach the expectations that are lofty for them, they have to win. Tennessee is an opponent that you have to beat, especially at home. But Nate, I am with you. I'm taking the Titans plus the 4.5, and it's because I do agree that the Bears defense played extremely well to end the season. The starters look great in the preseason, but I like Tennessee's weapons sort of a little bit sneaky wise. Obviously, DeAndre Hopkins last year was a down the field threat, even at his age. It was more than 20 completions down the field for him over the course of the season. That's monstrous. Adding Calvin Ridley, and then they got the 2-headed running back in Pollard and Spears in the backfield. I think they're just going to keep it close. I think it is going to be a little bit of a week 1 rough beginning for the Bears offense, or it could be. I could see how that plays out, but the Bears sneak out a victory, but the Titans cover. That is my prediction. Obviously, I'm taking Bears to win. I mean, if it came out of that, I'll put my life on it. But Titans plus the 4.5, I'm going to take just because I think it could be a close game at the end of it.
I do too. And I don't think the Tennessee Titans are going to go completely away from running the ball just because Vrabel's gone. I still think I see them trying to control the clock. And it's going to be a lower score. It's 2 solid defenses and some unknowns on offense at the end of the day. It's some unknowns. We don't know yet what these 2 teams can be offensively because we need to see it. And week 1, I like defenses and I like lower scoring games, truthfully. So I like that. I think it's going to be a good game. I do think the Bears get that win, though, and knock off the Titans. So.
Agreed.
So, all right, next up, a game that appears to be lopsided. This is our biggest spread of the week, although it has changed dramatically in the last 3 hours. So I'm assuming that means Jamar Chase is not playing because this spread, when I wrote these down at like 6 p.m., it was minus 9.5 Cincinnati. It is currently minus 7.5. It has moved 2 points in 2 hours. That is crazy. Makes me think Jamar Chase isn't playing. Also makes me nervous about my pick because I took New England plus 9.5. Do I want them plus 7.5? That's huge. I need to hear what you guys think first. Colin, what are your thoughts?
My only thoughts here is, does New England score 13?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Because
I think
I think Cincinnati with or without Chase could get to the low to mid 20s easily. I
Yeah.
think they still have enough firepower around there, and it really kind of comes down to Burrow's wrist. I know that's kind of still been an issue. Can he really throw? Is he good to go, or is that an actual concern moving forward? I still like Cincinnati here. I just think they have too much for New England.
Okay. All right. Sage, thoughts? We're gonna go Addison. Thoughts?
Yeah, he looks like he's frozen on my
Might be a little
screen.
frozen.
But I think this is a team in New England that's going to be in contention for the number 1 pick. Sadly for New England fans, the offense is bleak, and the defense is not much better after just trading away your best player in Matthew Judon.
Yep.
It is a little bit concerning if Chase isn't going to play, and Nate, I do think that's the indication with the line moving as
Has
heavy
to
as
be.
it is.
Has to
Like, it
be.
has to be that Chase is not going to sign a contract and be ready to go for week 1. I don't care though. Like you said, give me the Bengals. What is the spread exactly that we are rocking?
We're gonna go 7.5. We're gonna go with the most
7.5.
recent.
Okay, 7.5. Yeah, I'm still confident just because I think you said it, Colin. Don't know where New England scores. Is it Jacoby Brissett or are they playing
Yeah,
Drake
Brissett.
May? It's
Yep.
Brissett. Yeah, that's
Well,
all
it's
I
because
needed to hear.
if they put Drake May out there, they're going to
Would
have a
be-
workers' compensation
Yeah.
immediately for injury. Like he's going to get hurt. Hey, call Goldfine and Bulls though if he gets hurt.
And it's just the same thing. If he goes out there and sucks, confidence can get absolutely broken. I think that shows that they know the team isn't the best case for your rookie to be out there. That says something. And Brissett's going to go take the lumps. Give me the Bengals to cover.
Yeah. I do think if it was 9.5, I would have liked New England more, especially without Jamar Chase and it being 9.5. However, at -7.5, like everything, all of my concerns about Cincinnati pulling away are gone. Like T. Higgins is still there and is still really good. Jermaine Burton is a really good backup wide receiver, solid number 3 kind of guy. They've still got, they've got Zach Moss, Chase Brown. Like, no, they may not put up 35 points on him, but it's a rookie head coach in Gerard Mayo who's trying to figure everything out. It's a new quarterback with nobody to give the ball to. Who's going to win this game for New England? It's like you said, Colin, there's just nobody on New England that you're like, we got a game plan for this guy. You do not have to game plan for anybody on the Patriots offense. None of them strike fear in my heart. Not one of them. So
there is one scenario where I fear New England's offense, and that is a 1 yard to go situation with Jacoby Brissett at the center.
The bowling ball. Yeah.
If they get to the 1 yard line, it's a touchdown.
Mm-hmm. Brissett scoring a rushing touchdown.
That's the only thing that scares me. If New England somehow gets to the 1, that's how they'll score their 1 touchdown.
Yeah, I'm a big fan and I'm a big proponent of coaching mattering, like coaching being a huge critical factor to team success. I'll take Zach Taylor, having been to a Super Bowl and 2 AFC Championship games, over Gerard Mayo, who's never been a head coach in his entire life. Give me the Bengals -7.5. Sage, welcome back. What you got?
Appreciate it. Happy to be back.
Yeah.
No, I keep trying to come up with scenarios where like New England's in this game at the end, and I really can't even think of them. Just because even without Jamar Chase, T. Higgins is a 1 somewhere.
Yeah,
absolutely. Andre Joseph is going to start this game.
Yeah,
and come out and light it up. I'm positive. I am a little suspect about their defense, but who do they have to worry about? So yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Bengals even with the big spread, and it kills me to say it.
Yeah, I get it. Addison, thoughts?
Well, I already yapped about him. But
Okay.
just
Bengals.
because I went when Sage was
That's right,
frozen.
that's right.
But I'm on the Bengals, baby.
Yeah.
I'm on the Bengals.
Okay, clean sweep for the Bengals, man. Bobby had him at -9.5, so he's loving 7.5. That makes me nervous. Clean sweeps are scary. Alrighty, AFC South matchup. Houston Texans traveling to Indianapolis to take on the Colts in a rematch of Week 18 last year. Get in and win and get in and lose and go home game. Great football game where America was rooting for the Colts. And unfortunately, they lost. Addison, can we get a Gangnam Style for an hour if anything happens this year?
If Rich throws for 50 touchdowns and no picks, I will Gangnam Style for an hour, baby.
All right. Well, the line is Houston on the road -2.5. You guys already know what I'm going with, right? I mean, you have to. It's a home division dog, baby. It's those Indianapolis Colts. You're going to give me points at home when all of America is on Houston this year and CJ Stroud's going to win MVP. And oh my God, Stephon Diggs. And oh my God, Joe Mixon. I don't care. Give me the home team. Give me that home division dog. Indianapolis +2.5. I'm not going to, but I would take Indy to win this game outright. I think the 2024 Houston Texans just might be the 2023 Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know. I'm not saying, I'm just saying it could happen. Give me the Colts. Bobby's on Houston. Colin, who are you on?
Yeah, talking about last year, as high as we all were on Houston at the end of the year, rightfully so, like going from the number 2 pick to winning a division is insane.
Yeah.
4th to 1st, we always see it.
Yep.
But the Colts were 1 swing pass to Tyler Goodson on 4th and short from converting and getting a touchdown when they were down by 6 and winning the game, and America winning with the Gangnam Style.
America winning.
That being said, Texans did bolster up. Danielle Hunter on the defensive line, big pickup. You already talked about their 2 offensive weapons with Mixon and Diggs. But give me those Colts as well. I like the frisky Colts. Give me Richardson while he's still upright. And I'll take the Colts here as that home division dog.
I like it. Addison, thoughts?
I don't want to clean sweep the Colts. Damn it.
Bobby's on
Uh,
Houston. Bobby's
Oh,
on
okay,
Houston.
so we're not clean sweeping. Okay, good. Of course,
Don't
he is,
worry.
because
And
he's
Sage
taking.
isn't going to
Okay,
go
yeah.
Indy.
I mean, Houston, it's 2.5 is what we have it as, you said.
Yeah.
I could easily see them winning by 3, but last year in week 2, these teams played early in the season, and the Colts won. It was the game Richardson rushed for 2 touchdowns and then got hurt, and Minshew had to come and finish, and they held on for the victory. And honestly, Houston last year, they started a little bit slow. They were 3-4 after 8 weeks. So is it going to be something similar where it takes a while for the team really to get rolling, especially with these high expectations? If things aren't great immediately, things might seem bleak all of a sudden because, hey, we're not where we're supposed to be. I'm on the Colts here, plus the 2.5 at home. I just think Anthony Richardson with Shane Steichen calling the plays, drawing something up. He had success against this Texans team last year in the limited snaps he took against them. I mean, 2 touchdowns on 3 or 4 rushes. That is impressive. So I'm gonna go with the Colts here, just because we'll see what Rich looks like, but I'm excited to see how Shane Steichen puts him in winning positions, and I think that's what he's gonna do. Colts plus 2.5. Watch how they could upset here and get a straight up W.
I
Excuse me.
think so too. I
Yeah.
think so too. Sage, tell us about why you're on the Texans minus 2.5.
Man, it's that Colts secondary is just cheeks.
It is
Yeah, it's
cheeks. It is
And
cheeks.
against 4 wide receivers that all like could do some damage. I gotta go with the Texans right there, just because it's CJ Stroud slinging the ball, and I think it's gonna take a second. I mean, Latu, is he gonna make a difference? Because he's lining up against Tunsil. You know, does the Colts have the defense to do anything? We keep talking about the Colts offense, and I do think they're gonna be good. Don't get me wrong. I think the defense needs some time to step up and gel as well, and that's why I'm gonna go with the Texans.
Okay. That's a very reasonable argument. I have nothing to say about that. I have nothing because you're spot on. I mean, the secondary is a huge concern. I don't know why they didn't go get L'Jarius Sneed and why they let him go to Tennessee. I was begging for them to get
Or
him.
Justin Simmons, honestly.
Yeah.
Nick Cross is their starting strong safety. There's no one behind him on the depth chart. There are 3 free safeties on the depth chart. So I don't know what happens if Nick Cross goes down. Obviously, someone will fill in, but they don't
I'm getting
know who.
called up.
They
Yeah,
don't know
Sage
who.
is starting strong safety for the Colts, man.
Yeah,
We're
the
screwed.
secondary is bleak.
Yeah.
But the defensive line, that's the
It's
prayer.
very
That's
good.
the prayer for the Colts. Can the defensive line make the secondary better? But I don't
Yeah.
know. CJ Stroud looks like he can get the ball out pretty quickly. So
Yeah, he does. So that's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a great game. Another great game that we've got ahead of us. Speaking of great games, we've got the Florida Bowl, folks. We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to take on your Miami Dolphins. Currently, the line is Miami minus 3.5 at home. This is going to be a good one. Colin, who you got?
Yeah, interesting early season matchup. Are we getting the early season Jags from last year? Are we getting the late season Jags from last year? I think Miami is going to put up a lot of points once again. Give me Miami minus the 3.5 at home. I just think they turn it into a track meet as they like to at home. You're going to have that pound. They play at noon, right?
Yep.
You're going to have that pounding heat on the opposing sideline. Give me Miami minus the 3.5.
Yep. Okay. Addison, thoughts?
well, that pounding heat, this might be the one team that's used to it. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
obviously,
true.
it's still going to impact them, but being the Jacksonville Jags, Colin, you brought it up. Is it going to be the early season Jags or late season Jags? I'm going to go with the early season Jags. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the Dolphins spread. I'm picking against it. No shock there. But I am high on the Jags, maybe higher than most after the letdown last year. But it's just because I think the offensive pieces they've added on the outside are what Trevor Lawrence likes. He likes big one-on-one targets, guys that can go out and have a one-on-one and win a jump ball. And that's what he has now in Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas Jr., excuse me. And on the outside, obviously Christian Kirk's still there, Evan Ingram. I think the injury to Trevor Lawrence last year was the big killer for the season. Obviously, I say that as much as I can, but I'm on the Jags here, plus the 3.5. I think they're going to surprise some people this season with how they play. Obviously, health-wise, if it stays good for them. But watch out for these Jags. Plus the points here, I'm going to ride them. 3.5. Why isn't it bigger? That's
Yeah.
the question to me. It's a little close, and what does Vegas know? I'll take those Jags plus the 3.5.
Okay. I like it. Sage.
If I know one thing about a Mike McDaniel offense, they start hot. And that's the slogan for the Miami Dolphins. It's a sprint, not a marathon.
Bingo. Bingo.
Because that's how they play.
Yep.
They're gonna bring something out that we've never seen before in the first game. Absolutely, 100%. Lock it in.
Yep.
And the Jags aren't gonna be ready for it. I'm taking Miami right here. I'm excited to see what Jacksonville does with this new look offense, but I don't know if they can just keep up physically with Miami's offense.
Yeah, I get that. Yep, I get that. So Sage Colin on Miami, Bobby Addison on Jacksonville. So once again, coming down to break up the tie here. You know I'm going with the Dolphins minus 3.5 because it's like you guys said. Like I like to poke fun at the Bills for being September champs. We are also very much so September champs. I mean, last 2 years started out 3-0, and each time it's because the offense has just gone insane. Because of what Sage said, Mike McDaniel, he has been locked in the basement for the last 3 months, drawing up new shit. Like, oh, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Dolphins are coming to the game pretty healthy. I just don't like the biggest concern I had for Jacksonville before I even knew the schedule was their secondary. How are they going to cover anybody with these corners? And then they had all the corners in the draft fall to them at pick 17, and they're like, nah, we're good. Didn't take one. I mean, they've got a safety scheduled to play cornerback for them. They don't have a single corner that can cover Jalen Waddle. They don't have a single corner that can cover Tyreek Hill. And then you've got Devon Achane and Raheem Mostert coming out of I think the Dolphins score 36 points again. Like last year against the Chargers. Chargers had studs on their defense last year. Derwin James, Asante Samuel Jr., Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack. I don't see those guys on the Jags defense. I see Josh Allen Hines, very, very good edge rusher. And outside of him, there's nothing on the defense that scares me. Can the Jags score points? Absolutely. This is a high-scoring game. The over in this game is my mortal lock, which we'll get into later. Spoiler alert. But Miami, early season Miami is just a different beast. And we're going to wear our white jerseys, so we're going to make the Jags wear colorful jerseys in that sun. It's going to be hot. It's very dirty.
Fucking dirty, man.
It's very dirty. Yes, sir.
Typical dirty fish.
We'll take the advantage. Hey, if we have to go to Buffalo in the winter, we get to play in Miami in the heat. That's only right. All right, moving on. Carolina.
Can't wait to see which one matters more.
Yeah, I know. Well, we don't have to play Buffalo in December this year. They come to us week 2, and then we go to Buffalo in week 9. So we'll avoid.
Unless you get lucky in January.
Well, yeah. Hopefully, we stay away from them in January. See, we just gotta get the 1 seed, and then we're good. Playing Miami all playoffs. Next up, we've got an NFC South matchup. This is maybe these next 2 games. Really, oh my God. Okay, watch the noon slate and accept these 2 games that we're about to talk about. Carolina at New Orleans. This one's a stinker. Currently, the line is New Orleans minus 3.5. Ugh. I had written down that I was going to go New Orleans, but I think I'm going to take Carolina. I think I'm going to go Carolina plus the 3.5 points here on the road against New Orleans. I think both of these teams are going to be bad, just to be honest. New Orleans doesn't scare me offensively at all. We're still got Alvin Kamara back there. We've got Chris Olave, and that's it weapons-wise. Carolina added some pieces to their offense.
Excuse you. You're forgetting Taysom Hill.
Oh, sorry.
Best football player of our generation.
My fault. You're right. Taysom Hill as well. That's a big difference maker. I'm surprised the line's not bigger because he is playing.
He is.
Still going to go Carolina plus the 3.5 points. I do think Carolina's defense is bad, but I think New Orleans' offense is equally as bad. And Carolina's offense is maybe going to be decent. I remember talking about them early year. They're a team I'm excited to watch just to see what step Bryce Young takes in this offense and to see what he can do. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Carolina plus 3.5 here and just not watch much of this game at all. Sage, what are your thoughts?
You know, this is one of the more interesting games for me as well this year, this week, just because we're going to learn a lot about both these teams.
Mm-hmm.
How quickly is New Orleans going to ask for Spencer Rattler to start? Could be by the third quarter.
Could be quick.
Could be very fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of banking on that because I do really like this new Carolina Panthers offense.
Mm-hmm.
With Canales heading the show, I like that fit a lot. I think Deontay Johnson is going to have a really good year with them. I wish Jonathan Brooks was in this game. Unfortunately, he's on PUP out for the first 4 because I want to see what he's made of. But yeah, give me the plus 3.5 on Carolina, just because there's more unknown, and usually I go for what I know, but what I know is very bad in New Orleans.
Yes. Bingo.
I will say they did just trade for my old high school teammate, John Ridgway III. So big difference maker on the defensive line. In case you're
that's huge.
in case you're wondering who's going to be the difference maker on that.
Yeah,
Surprised the line isn't bigger because of that one.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Taysom Hill and John Ridgway III. How are these guys not favorites? Like they are favorites. That's crazy. Okay, so me, Bobby, Sage, all on Carolina. Addison, thoughts?
These two teams played the start of the season last year was a 2017 Saints victory, so the Carolina Panthers would have covered, but these are two different teams. Carolina's defense is going to be suspect. I think the offense is going to take a step forward with Canales coming in there. I think that's great for Bryce Young and the pieces they've given him, the opportunity to take that step, a coach coming in willing to believe in you. That's obviously exciting for the Panthers, but the Saints, I think it's going to be a little bit of false hope for them early in the year. Derek Carr will lead them out to 2-0, 3-0, something like that, something a little crazy. But after that, things will fall in, cave in on themselves. You said it, Spencer Rattler will be starting for the Saints at some point this year. That is guaranteed. But week 1, I think they'll cover the 3.5. That's what we're riding with, 3.5.
Yep.
I'm going to be on the Saints. I think they can win this game by 4, 28-24, something like that, 21-17. But it'll be a cover. It'll be a close game, but just enough to get Saints fans a little bit excited for Derek Carr to give them that false hope.
Okay, I like that. Colin, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm sitting over here trying to think if there's anything in this world that would make me take the Saints with any sort of points this season, and like laying the points this season. And I don't think, gun to my head, I think I would just take the bullet.
Nope, kill me. Kill me.
I don't think I could take the Saints laying points against anybody. And so I'm going to take the Panthers plus the 3. You already talked about everything I had wanted to talk about. Canales coming over, obviously huge improvement there for Bryce Young and that young offense. Defense is suspect, I agree, but give me those 3.5 points. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
It's 2.5, maybe, but 3.5, give me the Panthers.
Just a quick thing. I'm on ESPN looking at the weekly schedule. Tickets as low as $19 for the Saints Panthers game. Pretty wicked. Bears highest of the week, 208. What a crazy difference, man. Crazy.
Yeah.
Difference.
People want to see it. Love it.
Only they had Caleb Williams.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah, if only they had their first round pick this year, man. Maybe it'd be flipped.
That worked out so well for the Bears.
Oh my God. That is an all-timer.
All
right, I love that trade at the time. I got shit. Quick sidebar. I had a TikTok out on that one, and I gave the Bears an A+ for the trade, and I gave the Panthers like a D. And I had people in there like, no, dude, Panthers won this trade. They're going to get Bryce Young. They're going to be great. Where you at? What's up? Thoughts? What do you think about that trade, bitch?
Thoughts?
All right, let's move into the last 12 o'clock game on Sunday. It is a real stinker. We've got a quarterback matchup for the ages, folks. We got Sam, I'm seeing Ghost Darnold, and we've got Vanilla Vic, Daniel Jones, duking it out at noon. And it's Minnesota -1.5 on the road. This game is ugly. It's a game I will watch happily. If it was the only game on, you bet your ass I'm sitting and watching the whole thing. However, since it's at noon with 7 other good games, no thank you. I hate it. I hate it a lot. Addison, what are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I just cannot describe enough how this is definitely the worst game of the week. Just because one of these quarterbacks is not the future in Minnesota. Honestly, both are not the future. Both quarterbacks will not be with their team after this upcoming season. Just calling it how it is. Sorry, Sam. Sorry, Danny.
They're watching.
Man, it's gross. I honestly don't know who I want to take here. I think I am going to go with the Minnesota Vikings. Just because screw it. I sort of like Sam Darnold. He played well when he was in Carolina, so he's got to be decent, right? You guys. I mean, this is sad. Saquon obviously leaving for New York. That's 55% of your offense gone. Big question mark. Devin Singletary, big shoes to fill. Daniel Jones, this is your opportunity to not lose your money, my man, because if you play well, you never know. You might convince them to keep you for 2 more years and screw themselves even more. But I think Sam Darnold in the Vikings offense, he's got the weapons, and Justin Jefferson's good enough to be open. Sam Darnold can see open guys at least.
Yes.
So give me the Vikings because the Giants are just going to be – I said the Patriots earlier were in contention for the #1 pick. These two teams are as well, but I think the G-men have an even better chance. So give me the Vikings here to cover early in a week 1 gross game.
I'm completely with you on that because of – first of all, I think Sam Darnold is competent at this point. I mean, he just spent a year with Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan had him on the roster for the full year. Maybe he learned something. I don't know. I can hope. He went to USC, isn't? I think he's supposed to be smart. But he can throw the ball to Justin Jefferson. I believe that. Like, no matter what, he can close his eyes and throw it his direction. I
Yeah.
trust Justin Jefferson against any giant cornerback. There's not a single corner on that team that I think can contend with him. And then you got Jordan Addison on the other side, and you got TJ Hawkinson. Like, you've got weapons. We were all talking
Hawkinson's
about this
not in
being
there.
no TJ Hawkinson.
Not yet. He's still
Ah.
recovering from that
Yes,
ACL, I
sir.
believe. Yeah.
Either way, we got
Leave
the
his own
ghost of
people.
Aaron Jones. We've got Justin Jefferson. We've got Jordan. Like, we got weapons and a decent offensive line. And then we got Brian Flores calling the defense. Like, he's a dog shit head coach, dog shit human being, really good defensive coordinator. I'll say it. And I don't trust anybody on the Giants to do anything. I'm excited about Malik Neighbors. I'm excited about his potential, but there is nothing on the Giants that says anything more than 3 or 4 wins this year. And this
And obviously, I like Kevin O'Connell, the head coach of the Vikings, over
waiting
Brian
all day to
Dowell,
say that.
who I think is his seat's gonna be hot. Maybe not even due to his own fault, but
Yeah.
at the end of that seat gets hot in New York quick, and excuses don't matter. It doesn't matter who your quarterback is if you're not winning football games. So
Yep. Give me Minnesota in this one. Sage, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to take Minnesota as well. I mean, the Giants, there's just nothing to like besides Malik Neighbors, really.
Yep.
I mean, it's like that photo of like that Lamborghini next to a trailer park.
yeah, yep.
Yes.
Like-
Yes.
That's what he is right now. And
Wow.
obviously, we don't know how his career is going to go, but I have super high hopes for him. That's why I drafted him in fantasy. I think he could tear it up in this game alone, but it's not going to be enough to compete against Jay Jetta, Jordan Addison, Naylor, Aaron Jones, Ty Chandler. Like,
Yeah.
they're just way more stacked. I mean, their RB1 right now is Devin Singletary,
Yikes.
who has done what these past few years.
Not
Nothing.
shit. Get
You know?
outplayed everywhere he's been.
And then their RB2 is Tyrone Tracy, who was a wide receiver a year ago in college.
You're selling me. You're really selling me on the
Cool.
Giants right now.
I will say it came out today. Brian Dable will be calling plays this year. So I don't know if that makes a difference. Probably not. I think this might be a last-ditch effort to save his job this year.
Yep.
See what happens.
Before he takes the Bills job in the offseason.
Yeah.
Because that job will be vacant. Okay. I like it. Colin, bring us home on this one.
Yeah, this whole time I've been sitting over here just agreeing with every single word you guys have been saying. And I really, really badly want to take the Giants for no reason other than just to be different.
Dumbass pick of the week.
Well, Bobby's on the Giants, if that helps.
That doesn't help.
Okay. Sorry.
I honestly kind of forgot about the dumbass pick of the week. So I'm
Ooh.
glad you mentioned that. Now I got to start looking for later.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the Giants. Fuck it. That's it. That's the whole analysis. I'm going to go
Cool.
the Giants, comma, fuck it.
I respect
Give me
it.
that 1.5.
Love it. That's
Watch,
all
they're
the
gonna lose
argument.
by lose by 1.
Yep.
And I'm going to show up
24-23.
naked to next week's recording.
Fantastic. I love it. All right, let's get into the 3:00 slate. We've got 4 games again. I love this. They need to do this every week where it's 8 and then 4. That's the way God intended it to be done. Let's not change it up and do like 7 and 5 or some nonsense.
Agreed.
Or 9 and 3. How many times do they do 9 and 3? I
That's
hate
the
that.
worst.
Hated it. This one,
You
AFC
don't even
West
get the
matchup.
Octobox.
Octobox was the bomb with DirecTV, man.
Octobox.
Octobox.
And then you got the 4 even larger screens
Yep.
at 3 o'clock.
for the
You're
3
like,
o'clock
let's go.
games. Elite. It was elite.
Oh,
Las Vegas Raiders traveling to LA to take on the Chargers. Chargers -3 here. I'm on Vegas, man. Give me Vegas plus the points here. Lad McConkey's already hurt. Justin Herbert's best receiver going into this game is probably Joshua Palmer. And we're going to trust Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. Are we
Yeah.
sure that's who we want to put our trust in going into this game? And against the Raiders, what's their only strength on defense? It's their defensive line. That's all they have to sell themselves on the defense.
and Jack Jones.
Yeah, and Jack Jones, who is an okay corner. That's it. Other than
He
that,
can
it's
co-
like,
he can cover Josh Palmer.
yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, he's good enough to cover Josh Palmer, who's a number 3 on most teams, but he'll be the number 1 on Sunday.
Yeah.
And Vegas, I don't think Vegas is going to be that great, but I think they can run on the Chargers. I think Antonio Pierce is just going to run the ball. We're going to see a lot of Zamir White, Alexander Madison. All of them are just going to get carries on carries. I think this is an ugly, low-scoring football game because that's what Harbaugh wants to play is running games. Like, just run the ball, and they're not ready for it. Give me Vegas. I love getting 3 points here because I think Vegas is just a better team. I think they're 2 bad teams, but Vegas is better than the Chargers. Give me the Raiders. Colin.
Yeah, this is a real toss up here. You know how much I love my LA Chargers.
Do big fan.
So I really want to go that way with it, but if I gotta stay consistent with my picks tonight and for week 1, I'm going against all the change. I gotta see it at least 1 week. So I'm gonna go with the Raiders, much like you, Nate. Give me that underdog plus a 3 and kind of see what happens here. I gotta see the Chargers a couple of weeks before I buy back in.
Yeah. Yep. Addison.
Give me Harbaugh and these Chargers, baby. Week 1. Give me those khakis on the sideline. He's going to be
Khakis.
sprinting up and down. Those khakis going to be flapping in the wind. And honestly, it's because the Raiders aren't starting Mommy Milker's AOC. Bye-bye, Sage. Oh, he's back. But yeah, since Mommy Milkers ain't out there, no, obviously, I think Minshew probably is the best case scenario for the Raiders to be successful, but people are going to be doubting these Chargers. I obviously doubted them as well. I believe I had them 4th, I think, in the division.
I'm pretty sure you had them last. I did.
Yeah. But I think the Chargers are going to be able to do it against a Raiders team that they have a little bit of hype. Is it really deserved? They have weapons, but the quarterback play is the big question mark. And on the other side of the ball, Herbert's out there and at least healthy. He's still the best quarterback, even if he's a little bit banged up.
Yeah.
Give me the Chargers -3 in a push game. And I'm on the Chargers.
Okay, I like it. Sage, bring us home on this one. What you got?
Give me those Los Angeles Ravens.
Los Angeles Ravens, nice.
J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards are back.
Oh God.
They're going to run for a combined 250 plus.
J.K. Dobbins is playing in a regular season game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last time he did that, he tore his
There's
Achilles.
still time.
Torres ACL.
It was week 1 last year.
Oh my God. Poor guy.
He did it on a touchdown though, so he's good for at least 1 touchdown.
Respect.
Yeah. But no, I think Joe Alt's going to catch a touchdown because offensive linemen are weapons. I am
I
excited.
wonder if we could bet on that. I wonder if that's an option for anytime touchdown score.
I think there is
that.
one for like offensive line.
Okay.
Like not
General.
specifically alt, you know?
Okay.
But no, I do think that the Chargers are going to win this game. I have more faith in their offensive line. I think they're probably one of the only offensive line in their division that can really handle the Raiders. I mean, they're just a wrecking ball on that line. I do like the run game. I think it's going to suck, but I do just have to go with the better quarterback. I mean, I believe in Herbert more than I do Minshew. Mm-hmm. Even though, hot take, I don't think Herbert's gotten much better since his rookie year.
His statistics would say he hasn't.
But I would still go Herbert over anything Gardner Minshew has done. Even though I love Minshew, I love how he plays. I think he's fun. Fun doesn't win games. No. So give me Herbert, and I say reluctantly, but
yeah, that'll be an interesting one to watch. Yeah, not the most high-powered offenses duking it out in that one. And moving into the next matchup, we've got Denver at Seattle. Currently, the line is Seattle -5.5. This one isn't like a great matchup between great teams, in my opinion. I think both of these teams will be trying very hard not to be last in their division. But I'm excited for the coaching matchup in this one, the chess game between the coaches. It's Mike Macdonald, first-time head coach, defensive mind. You know he's calling the defensive plays, going up against Sean Payton, who's known for his offensive prowess. And now he's got his guy at quarterback, Mr. Bo Nix, who I do not believe in. But I do think I like Denver in this spot. I like them with the 5.5 points. It's a full new regime going on in Seattle. And I've been just hearing a ton about how Sean Payton wants to run the offense and how him and Russell Wilson clearly had different ideas about how it was supposed to go. Bo Nix is going to do everything Sean Payton says. He is not going to challenge him on anything. Bo Nix will not have an original thought all year. It is going to be what Sean Payton says, and he is going to do his best to execute it. And that is going to be passes to the running backs and short little things across the middle. And I think that they can beat Seattle like that. I really do. I'm not down on Seattle, but it's Colin, like you said, I need to see Seattle and what they're going to do post Pete Carroll. We've had Pete Carroll in Seattle for years, and now it's a whole new setup. I'm going to take Denver and take the points here and go +5.5. And that's like my fourth straight road team. I don't love that for me, but give me Denver. Bobby's on Denver. Bobby was on Vegas as well, if I did not say that. So, Sage, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to roll with Denver here as well. Dude, Seattle, I'm a little I don't know what they're going to do on defense, because even though Mike McDonald is there, He's coming from Baltimore, where he had Roquan Smith to build this around, and he had a Swiss Army knife and Kyle Hamilton that can line up on all three positions or all three levels, and he just doesn't have a guy in Seattle like that.
No.
So I think the scheme is going to be good, but I don't know if they have the players necessarily to execute what he wants. I do like their offense. I mean, they have all the pieces to be a competent offense aside from maybe Geno Smith, but Bo Nix, I think he's just going to be that Robotronic guy and say, hey, I'm going to get you exactly what we need and just enough to cover. Even if they lose this game, I think they cover. And I think Sean Payton's building something there. I called last year kind of a wash with Russell Wilson, being how Russell Wilson was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could tell that they just did not get along at all. They had differing views on how the offense should be run, and that won't work. That just simply won't work.
No.
Yeah, no. Addison, thoughts on this football game?
I'm also on Denver plus the 5.5. I think it's a large number for week 1, and the
Huge
questions
number.
in Seattle, the first game post Pete Carroll, as we've brought up already. I do like the scheme that they're going to have there, but I think Denver's going to be able to do enough. And I'm not extremely high on Bo Nix, but I'm decently high on him for what a rookie is going to be in this league, considering he's played so much football and he's taken so many snaps at the quarterback position. And obviously, Sean Payton wanted him. He sees something in him. 5.5, like I said, it's a large number for week 1. These two teams played a couple of years ago. Russ's first game as a Denver Bronco, and hopefully, when Bo Nix gets this W, he says, "Let's ride." But Broncos plus the 5.5. I'm gonna take them for the cover.
Okay, I like it. Colin, sweep.
Oh, I'm going back and forth on it because just looking on paper, like it's Seahawks all the way if you're looking at it on paper. But it's just like it comes down to the execution, and this isn't who's winning and losing. This is who's covering the spread. So I'm leaning Denver with you guys, but I just don't know. Like, what happens if McDonald brings out all these crazy, like, loads the box, brings out these blitz packages? Like, what weapon on the outside for Denver scares you up against Reek Woolen and Witherspoon on the other side?
I mean, you got Cortland Sutton, and that's about it. Yeah.
And it's like,
Troy
if they
Franklin.
shut down that run and that short, quick passing, it's like,
right.
What is the next move? So, and then on the flip side, as you mentioned, they have everything you need except for maybe Geno. And
yeah,
I'm going to take Seattle here, and I don't love it. I'm going to be honest. I do not love it.
Colin's riding solo. All right, I like it.
Riding solo.
I might
Feeling
have to
like a star. You can't stop my shining. Oh, sorry.
That is going to be a clip for a while. I think I'm going to save that one. Okay.
Jason Derulo.
Jason Derulo. All right, let's get into an actual game at 3 p.m. that's going to be good. And it's Dallas Cowboys traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Currently, the line's Cleveland minus 2.5. Bobby is on those Cowboys. Addison, what are your thoughts on this football game and that Cleveland Browns roster?
I love that roster.
Love it.
Cleveland. But I'm also on these Cowboys. I don't care that it's on the road. I think the Cowboys are going to come out and absolutely throttle these Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson does not inspire any hope as a spectator looking outside into the Browns. And if you're a Browns fan watching this, let me know. Do you have hope for him? Because at this point, I think it's all out the window. Joe Flacco played better than him last year and really unlocking the offense. Watson had maybe 2 good games in all that he played. And he's a hit away from a month lingering injury that just keeps him out randomly the day of after he's practiced all week. So I think Dallas is going to be well-oiled machine. CD got paid. He's going to be great. And I think him and Dak are going to be on another level. Obviously, the defense is great in Cleveland, but I don't care. Dallas's offense is just as good at what they do. Give me the Cowboys to cover easily because I don't think the Browns offense will be able to score like the Cowboys offense will be able to. Simple as that.
Okay, I like that. Sage, thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Cowboys as well. I mean, it really does come down to quarterback. Deshaun Watson is absolutely cooked right now. I mean, I think that's the reason they couldn't re-sign Flacco, because if something bad went wrong, the city of Cleveland would call for Flacco.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And I think that's another reason that they had 4 quarterbacks on the roster. They're trying to get rid of Jameis Winston. I mean, of course, because that's a guy, like, whether he's a little corny or not, he can rally the troops, and the team would follow him. And I don't think the team is really following Deshaun Watson as much as you would think they would. Being the leader of that team, he seems to have lost all love for the game. Even setting aside like everything else he's gone through, with the allegations and stuff, like shit, he's shown nothing.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like Cleveland was like, all right, you're here, be little,
Yep.
and
Yep.
he was like, okay, can
Got
do.
it. I will be little in everything.
And that also included his talent level.
Yes. Minimize his talent for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that has been a huge bust of a contract. One of the worst ever.
Easily the worst ever, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
And you find me rooting for Dallas all the time. I just cannot get away from how good Cleveland's defense was at home last year, man. I mean, they gave up 10 points on average at home last year. It's Jim Schwartz. It's the same fellas on that defense. They
Ooh.
brought back.
I got a stat for you.
Hit me.
Every single time Jim Schwartz has had a top 3 defense, the following year it's been top 16 or lower.
Like, so significantly worse the next year.
Worse.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good
Just
to know.
saying, just saying he pops hard.
My concern with Dallas is that they are a speed finesse style team and not the physical style team that the Browns are. And I'm speaking from a place of experience here. When it comes to a speed team that can beat you with a pretty style of football, but if it gets in a phone booth, if it gets to physicality, Cleveland is one of the most physical teams in the NFL. That offensive line is still nasty. Yeah, no Nick Chubb, but Jerome Ford did just fine last year for them. They've still got Amari Cooper. They brought in Jerry Jeudy. No Deshaun Watson. He's bad. Like, he's bad. Straight up, I'm out on Deshaun Watson entirely. I wanted him in Miami before all the allegations. So glad we didn't get him. Wow. I just struggle. I mean, I know CD's going to be game ready. I know CD's going to ball out. It's just the physicality of Cleveland is so hard to match up against if you're not an equally physical football team. That's just the AFC North. That's just the AFC North. They are the most physical division in football, and I don't think it's very close. And you go into the dog pound, and you're going to try and fist fight with them, man. It is a hard ask, and it's only 2.5 points. I like Cleveland to cover the 2.5 begrudgingly. I want Dallas to win this game because I don't like Deshaun Watson, and I don't want AFC teams to win whenever I can get it. But I've got to go Cleveland in this matchup minus the 2.5. I just have to. Colin, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, common theme here. I'm going to pick against the Cowboys every single week as the Cowboy fan on the pod here. So obviously I'm going Browns, as you said, Nate, minus 2.5 at home. Kind of a different route, talking about the receiver defensive back matchup. Talk about in Dallas, who do they have besides CeeDee Lamb? Well, guess what? Cleveland has 2 very, very good corners for Martin Emerson Jr. and obviously Denzel Ward on the other side. You look at Myles Garrett going up against potentially a rookie left tackle. Could be a long day there for Dallas, but also on the flip side, without Deron Bland, obviously going to miss some time here with the acquisition of Jerry Jeudy to kind of help out that receiver room in Cleveland. Even if Deshaun Watson is below average, I think they can still move the ball. So I'm going to take Cleveland here, A, as a hedge spot to get us a pick or a Dallas win, but B, because I do think, talk about Dallas, 8-0 at home last year, 4-5 on the road. So definitely a much better home team.
Yes, that was something I meant to mention too.
As we talked about Arizona going to Buffalo in that game pick. What a time for Dallas to go to Cleveland in September and not in late November, December. Thank God.
You played them in week 17 in Cleveland.
Yeah, no, thank you.
I will be picking Cleveland in that game. You can go ahead and receipt this one. I will be picking Cleveland to beat us in that game. Yeah.
So look at that roster.
Yeah, that Cleveland roster, baby. All right, let's get into the last 4 o'clock, 3 o'clock game. Washington at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay minus 3.5 here. Bobby's on Tampa. Bobby's on Dallas. I think I said that. Sage, what are your thoughts on this football game? Is he frozen? Might be frozen. Addison, I'm going to come to you again. Thoughts on this game?
Well, I'm extremely high on these Washington Commanders and Jaden Daniels in this offense. So I'm going to ride with these Commanders in week 1. I think they're going to come out and surprise some people. The Buccaneers, playoff team last year and playoff winning team last year.
Yeah.
Give me these Commanders to ride into Tampa Bay and get a little bit of an upset. And Scary Terry, we'll see what it looks like. I do think Tampa Bay is going to be competing in most games they play in. End of the day, Baker's going to be feisty. The defense will be at least competitive. But I think Washington's going to have a little bit too much excitement on their side. Jaden Daniels is going to ball out in his first game. So give me those Commanders to cover on the road plus the points.
Okay. I like that. I'm going the other way with Tampa Bay minus 3.5, but it makes me nervous at Washington is a complete unknown. Like there's nothing you can look at and say, oh, they're going to do this because this is what they do. Completely new defense, completely new offense, brand new quarterback. I do think Jaden Daniels is going to have a really good year. Like he might be a sneaky offensive rookie of the year pick if Caleb Williams doesn't absolutely run away with it. But like you said, Tampa Bay playoff team. They did lose Canales, but a lot of continuity here. They're like running it back. They're like, yep, we can do it again. Let's do it this way. So I'm going to need to see it from Washington again, kind of stealing Colin's theme. I need to see it from Washington before I can bet on them. And I'm going to go Tampa Bay minus the 3.5 here and be very suspect about it. Sage is back. Woo!
We made it.
Welcome back.
What
Speaking
game were
of,
you
you
talking
go.
about?
What? We're still on Washington, Tampa.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Who
Is it my turn?
got? Yep.
Give me Washington. All right. I am on the Jaden Daniels train. I don't even remember what the spread is. 3?
3.5.
3.5? Yeah. No, give me Washington right there. I'm super excited about this entire team. I think Dan Quinn's gonna at least get their scheme up to speed for that defense. And against Baker Mayfield, who still is Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. Okay.
Not worried about it. Jaden Daniels brings the it factor.
Okay. All right, Colin.
Johnny
Deciding
Brown
vote
is
here.
gonna score.
We've got 2 on Tampa. We got 2 on Washington. Where are you going?
Yeah, so just stalling it as long as I did. I took so many dogs earlier in the day, and I've been preaching about needing to see the unknown. I've been preaching about loving the 3.5. Give me the dumbass pick of week 1, which really isn't that stupid in my opinion. It's kind of a fringe dumbass pick, but give me the Commanders on the road. I think losing Canales is going to be more of an issue this year than what it might appear on the front end of the season here. And then that Tampa defense, I'm just not bought in on either. So give me those frisky Washington Cowboys to go into Tampa and win week 1.
Okay. I like that. Next week, when we're all in studio, I look forward to the dumbass pick of the week. I look forward to the yelling of it. That's what gets me hyped up. I start yelling. We play the siren. Everybody gets fired up for the dumbass pick of the week, which went unbelievably well last year. I mean,
Shocking.
insane. I wish I knew you were doing that because I'd have been riding it with you. Now I'm screwed.
Yeah, I think I was like 3 or 4 games over 500 on the dumbass pick of the week, and I was like
Please.
30 under on the weekly picks.
Yeah.
Made no
Dumbass pick of
sense.
the week was better than most mortal locks last year. So
Yeah,
it's crazy.
crazy.
All right, Sunday Night Football. We've got a rematch from last year's playoffs. Another matchup between former quarterbacks for their old teams. Jared Goff versus Matthew Stafford in Detroit here. Currently, the line is Detroit minus 3.5. Addison, who are you taking in this game? I'm curious.
Well, it's an interesting week 1 matchup. I want to see Stafford get his flowers this time. No booze, please. It's not a playoff game.
Yeah, come
Lions fans. But I'm going to ride with the Rams here, plus the points on the road. Defense, obviously, skeptical losing Aaron Donald. But on the offensive side of the ball, if the health is there, Kyron Williams, Puka, Cooper, Matthew Stafford running the show, I think it's going to be a close game, a competitive game from both teams. And give me the team with the hook there on the spread, and it's really coming down to that spread picks, and I'm going to be on the Rams plus the 3.5.
Okay, Colin, thoughts?
Yeah, this is another toss-up game. Obviously, 3.5 makes it a little more favorable to the Rams, and I'm going with the Rams with you, Addison, with a 3.5 here. Nate, you talked about it in the preview. Detroit last year, as great as they did play, there's a little bit of questions on based off strength of opponent and strength of opposing quarterback, to be specific. I don't know. This is such a good game. I'm glad it's a Sunday night.
Game.
Thanks for spoiling us week 1. But I'm going to go with the 3.5 in the hook there with the Rams.
Okay, I feel like I thought I was going to be weird. I'm also on the Rams. I'm also on the Rams plus the 3.5. I'm not high on Detroit, man. I'm just not that high on Detroit this year. I think the Rams another year, like last year going into the season, I was all like, who do the Rams have that we know? Nobody. Now all of these guys who were no-name players have another year under their belt after performing super well. I've got to go with the Rams plus the 3.5 here to kind of surprise Detroit. Maybe set their season up for some trouble and have the Rams win in this one. Sage, tell us about your Detroit Lions.
I'll tell you about the Lions and how they are not going to cover here because I'm also going with the Rams.
What? Oh, no.
I know. I hate to break it to you guys, but it's a clean sweep.
No, Bobby's on Lions, which means he's gonna win.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. I'm still going with the Rams right there. I think the Detroit Lions stayed very stagnant over the offseason. They didn't get too much better. Whereas the Rams, I think they got a lot better. Obviously you lose Aaron Donald, and that's a huge loss. And you can't, I don't know what's going on with the not Sage Brown, also not Sage Brown, obviously not Sage Brown.
Maybe Sage Brown.
Be safe, Brown. I don't know. It's late.
I don't know what I missed.
I don't know what you missed either, but it just started happening.
It just progressively continued.
It just kept going. We just started rolling with it.
Oh.
I love it.
Okay, so
No. I think the Rams have gotten significantly better. They're getting more weapons under their belt, and Kobe Parkinson I think is going to be a great tight end for them, replacing Higbee and all that. I'm super excited. I'm super on for the Rams this year. I think they have a shot to win that division, even with the 49ers there.
I think someone predicted that. Addison, maybe? No. Someone maybe. I don't know. Someone had San Francisco in second.
Someone really smart.
Sage. Sage did it. Busted.
Someone really smart.
Busted. Okay.
Yeah, give me the Rams.
I'm nervous that it's the four of us on the Rams. That really makes me nervous.
Kyron Williams is gonna return a punt.
Yeah, that's crazy. That I don't know about all that.
Yeah,
That's
you should not be doing that.
No, that's a mistake. But Monday Night Football, folks. This is a good one. I think this could be a really good game. I don't know why the NFL was like, hey, listen, we know what happened last year on Monday Night Football. We run it back. We do it again. Put the Jets back out there on Monday Night Football. Best of luck to you, Aaron. Hope it doesn't get you. But it is no longer on Jet Life Garbage Football Field. This is out in San Francisco. You've got the New York Jets taking on the Niners, who will be at full strength. Ayuk got his contract. Trent Williams got his contract and will be out there. So they are ready to go. The line, San Francisco -4.5. Addison, I'm curious to hear who you got in this one.
Well, my second favorite quarterback in the NFL on one of these two teams, and that is the Jets.
What?
Jets.
Jets.
I don't. Yeah, JTS. Jets. I don't care that Rodgers is 6-7 in his career against these 49ers and 0-4 in the playoffs. Yikes! This is week 1 of the 2024 NFL season, and the Jets are coming for blood. And they're saying, "What's good, 49ers? We're here to play." And I'm taking the Jets money line on the road, going to formerly Candlestick. Don't know the name now, but formerly Candlestick.
Levi
Rodgers going
Stadium.
in, and thank you, Steve. Still don't know what he said, but whatever he said.
Levi Stadium.
Levi. My bad. I thought he said Eli. I was like, what the?
Levi Stadium.
But give me the Jets here to cover. In all honesty, I think Aaron Rodgers, obviously, if the health is there, I think the Jets are one of the best teams in football, and I think they'll be able to show that on Monday night. Aaron Rodgers, get to 3 plays. I'm begging you.
Get to at least 3 plays. I'm gonna ride with you. I'm gonna take the Jets plus the 4.5 points. That's a big spread against the
teams.
It's a big spread against a good defense at the end of the day. Like the Jets defense, I can talk all the smack I want to about the Jets, and I will continue to. This is just the beginning. The Jets have a very good defense at the end of the day. They have people who can cover the Niners' skill position players. They can cover Ayuk and Debo because they've got DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner. They've got the linebackers to match up with Kittle. They got the defensive line to match up against the Niners' offensive line. Now, if Trent Williams doesn't play or Brandon Ayuk doesn't play, I'm thinking maybe the Jets are favorited in this game. But the Niners at full strength is scary. It's Brock Purdy and the Avengers going up against the Jets. I like the Jets defense in this game. I like the Jets defense keeping this one close. Do I think that they win outright? No, I don't. I hope they don't. But I do think that this game comes down to the last second. I think this is a tight game, man. Robert Saleh going up against his old team, formerly DC out there. I think it's a really good football game, and I like 4.5 points. I like 4.5. So give me the Jets. Colin, thoughts?
Yeah, so I'm going to continue the theme of tonight. I got to see it to believe it. And there is no team in the NFL that you have to see it to truly believe it more than the New York Jets. And
True.
I have to see it to believe it. I will not take the Jets in this game probably until about week 4, until they're 3-0 after 3 weeks.
Average margin of victory, 24 points. No, I'm kidding.
So give me the Niners here, just at home. It's a tough place to go play unless you're the Baltimore Ravens last year. You look at how good the Jets defense is. Guess what? The Niners have just as good of a defense. And at the end of the day, as much shit as Kyle Shanahan gets for not being able to win the big one, this isn't necessarily the big one. I do trust his offense to continue to roll at home, especially with his shiny toys back.
True. He's got all of his little gadgets. He's ready to
The
go.
Avengers.
Yep, the Avengers have assembled. Sage, we got a tie. Last game of the week, break the tie. Where are you going?
Yep. And I'm rolling with the San Francisco 49ers here. I really don't have much faith in the Jets this year. No, did I freeze?
Nope.
Oh,
You're back.
okay. I don't have much faith in the Jets this year. I mean, even when we look back to 2 years ago, last time Rodgers played, he was average.
Yeah.
He
absolutely.
finally came back down to earth. And do we think he's going to get better after an Achilles tear? Absolutely not.
Yes.
You can take all the time you want, but he's not going to be the old Aaron Rodgers. He's not going to be MVP Rodgers. They have some weapons, sure, but is Mike Williams, who the LA Chargers, they have 0 receivers on their roster. They didn't want to keep him.
Mm-mm.
I mean, is he going to be the answer behind Garrett Wilson? Garrett Wilson's a stud. We all know that, but you can't base an entire offense around one receiver, Dallas. But
True.
But yeah, I mean, they have Breece Hall. I love that. They have Braylon Allen. I love that. But is half their offensive line known for getting hurt? Yes. Could that potentially happen in the first week? Sure. I mean, also Aaron Rodgers, on the other side of the ball, is the same guy that tore his Achilles last year.
Yeah.
Playing for the 49ers this year on Monday night.
Yeah.
49ers, they're at full strength right now. I mean, how can you say they're not? They just got Trent Williams back. He's not going to be holding out anymore. They're going to be rocking and rolling, and I believe in them. You could say, what, -10? I'd probably take them.
That's crazy. You want
The
a
only
minus
thing
10?
that
You
might
have a
scare
minus.
me is like a slight Super Bowl hangover, but do you really have a Super Bowl hangover losing in the Super Bowl?
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't. The Eagles did last year, but you shouldn't.
True. Although the Eagles started 10-1, so I
That
don't
is
think
true.
they were hangover. They started hot,
Hangover was
even though
late.
they were terrible. What?
Hangover is late in the year.
Hangover,
They were
yeah,
celebrating
late
the Super Bowl at 10-1. That's why they lost.
That's true. Yep, they were already celebrating, popping bottles.
Go
Yeah.
Aaron
Ladies and
Rodgers.
gentlemen, that is week 1 of the 2024 NFL season. We are here. We have made it. I am so proud of us. I could cry. I cannot wait for these games to start, and we get some bangers to start week 1, baby. What a slate of football games. Stay tuned to the channel. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Sage, yeah, I'm not outroing yet. I'm
Oh, okay. I was like, are we doing Mortal?
Oh yeah, we're doing Mortals. We're
Okay.
doing Mortals. We're doing Mortals.
Okay.
Don't you worry. We're doing Mortals.
Whew.
We've got Mortal Locks, and we will have at least you will have Miami Dolphins preview videos for every single game and review videos for every single game. We might have Ravens review. We might have Bears. I'm confident we'll have Cowboys. Colin, strong work last year. So I'm hoping for some Bears are going to be better this year. You're going to want to talk about them, Addison. You're going to want to preview these games and review these games. Sage, the Ravens, you have no excuse, sir. No excuse. You will see these videos on the channel. But before we get into all of that, let's do Mortal Locks. And I already spoiled mine. I'm taking the over 49.5 in the Miami-Jacksonville football game. I think both of these teams are going to be capable of scoring 30 points any given week, easily. I think the Jacksonville revamped offense is going to be really solid. I think Travis Etienne has a chance to be one of the top 5 RBs, especially in fantasy football this year, just catching passes out of the backfield. Another year in the offense. Last year, I don't know what happened to them last year and why they fell off. They were 8-3, and then they collapsed just like Gary Kubiak did. And I think they can score points, man. And we already know the Dolphins can score points. So I love the over 49.5 here. I'm hammering it. Sage, what you got for Mortal Lock?
Are we allowing player props?
Fellas, are we allowing player props?
Shit,
Yeah.
I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Patrick Mahomes has never thrown for less than 270 yards against the Ravens. His
Oh, you're just
over-under.
getting to the good stuff. Oh, it's me.
What?
Nothing. I think I froze, and I thought you froze.
Oh, okay. Patrick Mahomes has never thrown for under 270 against the Ravens.
That's fucked up.
Right now, his over-under is 259.5. I'm taking the over.
Yeah. Over 259.5. Okay. I like that. I love that. That's a great pick. It's got the stats behind it. Never thrown for less than, damn, he owns you guys, huh? He owns everybody.
I don't want to talk about it. Who doesn't he own?
He owns everybody.
I don't think he's ever thrown for less than 370.
Jeez. I don't think I have a mortal lock for Bobby, so I'm going to shoot him a text and see if he's got one. Addison, what do you got for us?
Well, my mortal lock last year was absolute dog piss. So hopefully we can turn it around a little bit.
Yes.
I'm going to start it off hot with Caleb Williams, 400 yards, 5 touchdowns. No, I'm just kidding. That's the
Oh my
outrageous
God.
take, maybe.
Yeah.
No, it's the Atlanta Falcons -3.5 against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Atlanta. I just think the offense is going to be too much for the Steelers to handle, and they will not be able to bounce back and compete with them, I guess I should say, offensively. And I think it could get ugly, a little bit of a blowout, and Kirk Cousins starts things right. Kirko Bang starts things right in Atlanta. Give me the Falcons -3.5 as my mortal lock.
Okay. I like that. Colin, mortal lock.
All right, I'm scrambling
Mm-hmm.
because I really wanted to put Sack on table and go Steelers plus a 3.5. But for the interest of the show, I'm not going to do that.
Respect. Can't have
So
dual
we're gonna
immortals.
pivot to my favorite under of the week,
Ooh.
and that's those Patriots Bengals under 40.5. Give me that all day of the week. I think if the Bengals score 30, this is still hitting under 40.5.
Yeah,
I'm
Patriots can't
serious.
score. Patriots can't score.
Actually, you know what? Give me 1 second here. I got to see what the Patriots team total is just for shits and grins.
I'm going to guess it's 13.5. I haven't looked. My guess is 13.5.
Okay, I would like to change my mortal from the under to the Patriots team total under 15.5 is what it's currently at on FanDuel. -104 for under 15.5.
Yeah, that's absolutely hammering.
That's gross.
That's
I would do that
absolutely
100%.
I
So
would
under
parlay-
15.5 Patriots team total.
Yeah, I would parlay those two. Under in the game, under Patriots team total. They aren't going to score. They aren't going to score. They are ass. Absolute ass. We do
Marcelo
not have Bobby's mortal lock as of this moment. Normally throughout the course of the season, we do a few different segments. If you're new to the channel, if you've been here, you know what we've got. We got Colin's locks. We've got Opal's outrageous take, and we've got some fantasy sleepers. Do you guys have these ready for this recording?
I'll bust out my outrageous take, and I sort of
Hit it.
spoiled it as a joke, but not really. I think it's Williams. I mean, obviously, when I talked about the Titans and the Bears, I said it could be a lackluster offensive game for the Bears, but give me Williams like 350 and 4 tuds for his first debut game. A little bit of an outrageous take right there for you.
350 and 4 tuds. Mama. Wow, that would have Bears fans pants off.
Rolling, yeah.
Oh my God. Sage, any fantasy sleepers for week 1? You got to start your fantasy season on a win. You got to. Who do you got for
Absolutely.
the people?
And here's the thing. Obviously, there's not as many injuries that we're really looking at right now. We don't know how these offenses are working right now. So these are shots in the dark for week 1.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. But my number 1 wide receiver fantasy sleeper is going to be Andre Joseph. Especially if Jamar Chase is out, you got this hot-headed rookie coming out of nowhere, and I think he's going to absolutely explode. I'm super excited for him. He's listed right now as the number 3 receiver. So he's taken that Tyler Boyd role, which is already fantasy relevant, right? And then once you add the number 1 target leader being out potentially for week 1, I think he has potential to explode. And then as for running backs, I'm going to go with Ray Davis for the Buffalo Bills against Arizona. James Cook had, I believe, like single-digit goal line work last year in rushes, and Ray Davis is just a bowling ball of a human. He reminds me of like a Maurice Jones-Drew type guy, right? And I think you get within 3 yards, and you don't want to put your star quarterback that you just gave a giant contract to on the line. Give it to Ray Davis. Let him get those tutties for you.
Okay. I like it. Ilyasovas and Ray Davis. I like those two. Those are good under the wire ones. I like them. Colin.
Searching week 1 sleepers. You're in a deep league, my friend.
Yes.
Right.
Trying to find these. Yeah.
I'm hoping you don't need me this week.
Yes, you should not need him. But if you do, if you have Jamar Chase and you're like, shit, I need another receiver, because I didn't draft some. I don't know. Go get Andre Ilyasova from Cincinnati.
Right.
I like
If
it.
you,
Yeah,
want to
week
hang some
one's hard.
sack,
Huh?
if you want to gloat real hard to your teammates,
Yep.
or
There you go. Let them hear it. All right,
Let 'em-
Colin, what do we got for locks for the week?
Oh, so it's tough. Do I want to get greedy or do I not week one? I think I'm gonna stay pretty chill week one.
Okay.
Just kind of looking at the board. Can't do a mortal lock for a lock, so that just doesn't work out well. It's a
It
double
never does.
whammy, double L.
Yep.
So I think let's do 2 and just no, we gotta do an odd number. Let's do 3. Fuck it. First one, let's take the Eagles with the spread 2.5. I think we clean swept that as a pod. So let's, as a pod, put Sack on tape with Eagles minus 2.5 on that Friday night. Next
Love
one
that.
up here. It's a homer, but it's a homer for good reason. Dallas Browns over 41.5. Dallas themselves averaged over 30 last season. I think I did pick the Browns to cover and win this game. So if they're going to cover and win it, I could see 21-21 covers this. So what happens there? Who's not getting to 20? And can the other team pick up the slack? I think this goes over fairly easily. Good weather game, week one, pulling out all those stops.
Yep.
Now let's get to the third one here. Oh, this is sketchy behavior. Sketchy behavior.
Is it the money line parlay?
See, that's what I was kind of looking at, and I will do it just for a cop out.
Nice.
It's minus 102, so right around even money.
Yep.
Those Miami Dolphins in the money line parlay with the Cincinnati Bengals brings it to minus 102. I think if you need a parlay piece, the Bengals money line's about as safe as they come for week one at least. And then take your next favorite kind of 3.5 spread or smaller and attach it, and you'll get to even money there on that parlay. So nothing too extravagant here and there. Obviously, I'll be more prepared with better research and facts and figures for next week's show. But let's get off to a hot start.
Okay. Sounds good, brother. That's all we've got for this week. Unfortunately, we did lose Downtown Sage Brown once again. And this guy's not Sage Brown. I'm maybe Sage Brown, and we got Seif. So that is all
Sage's
we got.
Wi-Fi is about as reliable as Lamar in the playoffs.
I'm keeping it in the video.
And Dallas and Dallas in the playoffs.
All right, that's all we've got for you guys for week one of the NFL season. 48 hours, baby, and we are going to be feet
cannot wait.
up, beer in hand, watching football, and I cannot freaking wait. That's all we've got for you guys today. We will see you all in the next one. Have a good one.